So how's guitar been? Have you found time to practice?
Yeah, not as much as I used to practice. A lot of things got in the way here recently, but um, I did do some refreshers and recaps on our previous videos. Uh, and then I did read some of Pumping Nylon, which is the book you gave me.
Hmm.
And I've been looking at just trying to memorize the notes on the chord, on the guitar, sorry. And
Hmm.
that's mainly what I've been practicing, just memorization and just finger techniques.
Nice, good. That sounds like a lot of really good stuff to do. I think
Yeah.
you're at like a level now where you can start learning actual pieces, even if they're
Yes.
like etudes, but like simple stuff. That actually sounds like music. So let me pull up some examples, and you can tell me what you think. But I think
Okay.
any of these would be really good for you. And we mentioned them before, but we never really got into it. I don't even remember if I played them for you.
I was it winter?
Yeah,
Um, okay. Yeah, I like that one. We played that once in our class,
nice. Yeah,
but
oh yes, I remember now. Yeah, we did.
yeah, we didn't really go over it. We just kind of skimmed through it.
So let me share my screen just so you
Okay.
could see it. All right, can you see that?
Yes, I can see it. Yeah, winter,
All right,
and
cool.
I see fishing by the pond as well.
Yeah, good, good.
Okay.
Well, let's start with winter, and then we'll go into the next one also.
Sure.
So this is the first song in this book, and it's really fun. I think we've talked about it, but do you remember it or not at all?
Um, I remember us talking about what MI means. Um, we talked about it a little bit, but no, I don't really remember that song, honestly.
Okay.
But I remember it being one of our favorites in class.
Yeah, it's a good one to start off with. Let's do some review then. So what does
Okay.
MI mean? Do you remember?
Middle and index finger.
Yeah. On what hand? Right or left?
Right.
Correct. Yeah, good. And in this case, because it's an etude, the middle is always on the first string, and then the index is always on the second string. So you have this plucking pattern. Middle index, just off for the entire song.
Okay.
And then you have two moments at the very end of each line where you have a half note, which is two beats. So that means you just skip the index finger. That's pretty much it for the right hand. And then for the left hand, do you remember how to read these notes? Or you kind of forgot?
Um, let's see. This is that first note is G.
Yeah, good. Where do you play G? Do you remember?
G is gonna be on the first string, uh, third fret, third finger.
Yeah, exactly. G. Oops, that's G sharp. There you go. G sharp. So that's G. You got that one right. Um, and then what's the second note? This one we didn't really cover.
That is D, I believe, right?
No, it's B, open second string.
Ooh,
Yeah,
okay.
and we didn't really get into the second string, so there's no worries there. But that's how B looks. B's in the center of the staff. As you can see, it's
Oh,
on the third line, right?
okay.
Yeah, so that whenever you see that note, it's the open second string, B. And then we
Oh,
have, if you notice, that every second and fourth note in almost every measure is the
is
same.
B.
Yeah, it's B.
Oh,
So that means on the left hand, you never have to fret the second string. The second string is always open. And the only thing that changes is the first string. So we have G, and then we have F sharp, which we did talk about, and it's on the second fret of the first string. Right there. And then the last note is this one, which is open E, open first string. So once you can read those 4 notes, you can read everything. The whole piece just uses those 4 notes. And the right hand pattern is just middle, index, middle, index. So it sounds like this when you put it all together. So that's how that one sounds. Why don't you try playing that first measure? Do you have any questions?
So far, no questions.
All right,
Just
cool.
forward. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll
give it
try
a
it.
shot. Yeah. Yeah, and I think your original sound isn't turned on right now, but I can see what you're fretting. Oh, I think this is better. Yeah, this is better. Yeah, you got it. That sounds great. I think the one thing that you should keep in mind for this one is, and this is a little more advanced, but I think we can get to these topics because you already know how to read the music and you know how to pluck the strings and everything, which is the separation between melody and accompaniment. So, and I think I've mentioned this to you before, but remember, like the melody is kind of like the singer in a band, and the accompanying notes is like the drummer or the bass line, just there for support, right? And so in this case, which notes are the melody, the first string or the second string? The second string would be the accompanying notes, right? Yeah, because if yeah, you get it now. Good. So try to bring out the first string a little more. So dig in a little more with the middle finger and lighten up with the index.
So, in terms of melody, could you define melody so I understand it better?
Yeah, that's a great question. Melody is just a moving line. It can be in any register. Usually, it's in the highest notes that you'll hear in a song. But there's times where it can also be the lower note. But it's just something that's moving, and that's usually nice to hear, right? It's usually like the notes that have the spotlight on it, and then everything else is not in the darkness, but it's kind of they're supporting it, you know. So the melody's kind of like the star of the show.
Okay. Kind of like a solo in a song.
Exactly. Yeah. The solo's basically the melody. Yeah. So in this case, if you wanted to play just the melody, it would just be this. Right? And then the B's would be the accompanying notes. Right?
I guess the support of the song is what you were saying.
Exactly. Yeah. So try to play it with that in mind. So the M is a little heavier and the I finger is a little light. Yeah.
Okay. And actually, better to understand here, the tension is important as well, right? When playing melody and accompaniment, right?
Yes, 100%. Yeah. And by tension, you mean the right hand tension?
Yeah. Well, both. Left.
Uh, Yeah, and for some reason your audio is cutting out back and forth, but I can still catch what you're saying. um, yeah,
Sorry,
but that's okay. Don't worry about it. Yeah, but tension is important. So I would say, um, yes, it is tense. Is when you press into the strings a little more. Um, but I would try to not use that word just because it kind of usually tension is linked to negative aspects of playing, but it's always required. Um, But yeah, so when you press a little deeper or a little more, you dig in a little more with your fingers, you do require more tension. Yeah. And then you immediately release it upon striking the string, right? And then for the left hand, I would say every note should try to feel the same in how much you press. So the tension shouldn't change too much in the left hand. The only times that can happen is if it's a special occasion. Maybe you're like doing a long stretch and you can't reach the bottom of the fret to have good technique. You know, like if I wanted to play G sharp and D here, that's a pretty big stretch for me. So I would have to press harder with a pinky. That's just one example. But for 99% of the time, when you press the frets, press the strings against the frets, it should be the same pressure on every finger on every fret. Yeah, it's getting better, right? Yeah, that sounds pretty good. I would say keep working on it. I think it's already gotten better just with you being aware of it. But I remember I've heard this from my professor one time. Let me stop sharing my screen. So I was saying like I remember my professor told me this thing that was really insightful. He said that there's four levels of playing. So the first level is unaware incompetence. That's what he said. So
Mm,
that means when you're playing poorly and you don't even know you're playing poorly. Like so that's like the worst you could play. And you don't want to be at that level. And you're
right.
not at that level. You already ascended to the next level, which would
Great.
be yeah, which would be like and I never remember now the word he used was not unaware, it was unconscious. So it was an unconscious incompetence when you don't know what you're doing and you're doing a bad job but no one's telling you so you don't know and
Right.
you don't have the extra expertise to know yourself. And then the step above that would be conscious incompetence. And that's kind of like where you are right now. I would say you're between this one and maybe
Yeah.
conscious competence. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're
But
kind of
I'm
like,
trying. I'm trying. I'm doing
you,
better.
exactly. Yeah. You're doing better. You kind of know what you're aiming for, but it's kind of
Yeah.
difficult. Like sometimes you get in it, sometimes you're not. But at least
Yeah.
you know, right? So
Yeah.
that's a huge step above the last one. And then after that would be conscious competence, where you're practicing hard and you know what you're aiming for and you get that. And you could get that
Okay.
with maybe 5 or 10 minutes of practice right now, and you could play that song better. And then
Okay.
the very last level, the tip of the pyramid where you want to aim to be at, is unconscious competence, where you're doing something so well and you're not even processing it in your brain. It just happens
Like
because
muscle
you,
memory.
yeah, like muscle memory, like walking or like breathing, like you just do it so much that you don't think about it.
Wow.
So when you
That's
play,
where I want to be.
yeah, and it takes a lot of hours of practice and discipline and it's difficult, but you can do it if you just do it
Okay.
every day and it slowly integrates into your playing. So
Sounds good. I
that's
would do that.
yeah, so that's my goal for you. Doing a lot of pieces like this, that'll help you get there. And this is where it
Okay.
starts with you realizing what you're aiming for, your goals.
That
Yeah.
that's my dream actually,
Oh
to
yeah.
be to have unconscious competence. Especially in
Nice.
guitar. Not only in my life, but especially in guitar. Guitar has
Yeah.
been or is my first instrument that I ever laid my hands on. I just as soon as I picked up a guitar, the first time I was 12 years old, just you know, as a kid, you don't really know much about it, but you just play. And I
Yeah.
fell in love with guitar. Just honestly, this is the first time where I've had an actual teacher.
Mm. Yeah,
So
yeah.
thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. It's my pleasure. I mean, you're a really, really great student. I love working with you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So for homework, try your best to practice and be conscious about it. Like think, okay,
Okay.
is the melody coming out? Do I hear this first string singing to me, da da da, or do I hear dum bom,
Yeah.
right? So you want it
Okay.
to be more seamless, like a singer in a band, basically.
Okay.
And one thing also to note, on your guitar especially, some guitars really have um, the tendency to have open strings pop out, and it can be a little too much sometimes. So for your guitar, that B string really, really likes to poke out, and sometimes it's overpowering the first string.
Oh, okay. So is it the way I'm playing or is it just the guitar itself?
It's probably both, but I would say it's more the guitar.
Okay.
Because yeah, I mean that's just how it is on some, especially steel string guitars. They're very
Yeah.
bright and they ring out really loudly.
Okay.
Compared to like the classical guitar or Spanish guitar, they're a little softer.
Right. Because classic guitars, Spanish guitars, they use plastic strings, right?
Yeah, they use nylon strings. Yeah.
Nylon string. Okay.
Yeah. So the material of the string changes the timbre and like the every single um,
Pitch.
harmonic that yeah the pitches in the harmonic series like in the harmonics on the instrument, all of these like all those tiny little notes that are in the string
Yeah.
that ring out because of physics, they change depending on the material the string's made of. So on your strings they ring out a lot more, they're more resonant,
Yeah.
and on these strings are a little more dull in some areas, but they have, they each have their pros and cons, the materials.
You know what? That's honestly the coolest thing. When people don't think about this, but material is super important when, choosing a guitar,
Yeah,
also the style of guitar you want to play is
true.
important. The material. People don't think about this.
Yeah, they really don't. Yeah, and then that's why I love this instrument so much. Like, it's so delicate, and you have to be really careful about everything. Like every tiny little touch changes the sound.
And is that a classical or is that a steel string?
This is a classical
Oh,
guitar.
so those are nylon strings.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, okay. Cool. Is it easier to play?
It depends. I mean, the neck is thicker. That's like the one of the downsides maybe for beginners is the neck is
Yeah.
bigger, so you have to stretch your hand a little more. But if you have bigger hands, then it's going to be more comfortable. So, you know,
Oh, okay.
yeah. But usually, do people do say the strings are a little softer on the left hand to
Okay.
press on versus the steel string. They're usually thinner, and sometimes people tend to say they feel pain when they press on those strings.
Okay. Gotcha. But you would recommend a steel string for beginners
I honestly think it depends on what you want to do.
on the
So,
person.
yeah,
Okay.
because because I don't want you to spend more money than you have to like on multiple guitars. Like, I would rather
Yeah.
you, if you like rock and metal, then start on electric.
Okay.
If you like country music, then get a steel string, you know. And if you like classical music or Spanish or flamenco, then get one of these, a classical guitar.
Okay. Yeah, I actually love flamenco and classical more than I would say any other style besides like electric guitar rock.
Yeah.
Um, which I mean, you could still learn classical and flamenco on a steel string, but it's is it a lot harder to learn
Uh,
that way?
it's just different. The main thing is because of the distance between the strings. I don't know if you can tell, but these strings, they're a
Yeah.
lot, they have a lot more space in between them.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I
And
see the difference.
the steel string is kind of like this
Yeah, that's
versus
true.
this. It's like a tiny difference, but they're a little closer, so it changes how you develop your right hand. That's
Yeah.
the main difference for the
Okay.
steel string. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's mostly the same thing. Other than that, I mean, the classical guitar you don't need to, but people usually grow out their nails, just so that you can have that different tone that you can create. On steel strings, it's difficult to get that even with nails.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the classical guitar kind of gives you more options with sound. Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's more malleable.
Yeah, more malleable. You
Cool.
like I can show you like this. This is like the most warm and round and deep sound I can get. This. And then this is like the brightest.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a
Yes.
huge difference.
Yes, and then on steel string you could get something similar to that, but not that extreme. And not that you can't change the sound so easily. On the classical guitar you don't have to do much to change it. Like, I'll show you this.
Yeah.
Just with the turn of my wrist. Like that.
Oh,
If you do that on steel string you might get something, but not as much as on here.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
something most people don't
Yeah.
think about. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of tiny little things like that that people don't know, but you learn. You learn with time. So let's move on to another one. I know that this Ludwig we've done, or sorry, not Ludwig, Winter we've done already,
Yeah.
and that one you can learn pretty easily. I already
Yeah,
know
I
that.
still have that sheet that you gave us in class, so I'm gonna practice that this week.
Let's do this one, Fishing by the Pond.
Okay.
This one's really fun. Um, so what do you remember? You said I was index.
Yeah.
What does P mean? Do you remember that one?
Oh, that one is thumb, right?
Yeah, that's right. Good. Thumb on the right hand. And we remember the first note here is B, which is the open second string. So it's okay if you don't know this, but what's the second note here?
G.
Yeah, good. G, open
The
third
reason I
string.
remember that though is because the treble clef at the center of the treble clef is usually G, right?
Yeah,
Like the
exactly.
swirl.
Yep, exactly. It's a capital G. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, good thing you remember that. Not a lot of people remember these things.
Yeah, I've been practicing that sheet you gave me from
Okay,
our
good.
class, and I've been reading that.
Yeah, good. Nice. So that's the only two notes in the first measure, B, G, B, G, and we're using index, thumb, index, thumb. You could use middle index, but the reason why they're having you use index, thumb is to develop all the fingers.
Okay.
So, it's not a big deal, but let's try to follow the right hand fingering, index, thumb. And this one is also good because it teaches you the placement of the thumb. Let me see you just do index, thumb on the second and third string.
Yeah. Is that visible?
Yeah, go ahead and start plucking away. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I think you already got it down. What a lot of people tend to do is they do this where they have their thumb and index right next to each other.
Yeah.
This is the wrong way to do it because when you pluck with your index, you don't have a lot of space to go
Right.
into the palm like this. This is terrible. So you have to move your thumb slightly to the left, which you're already doing, which is good. And then your index has so much space to go in there.
This
Yeah.
is actually something that you taught us in class uh, a while ago, and I just remembered it from that class.
Yeah. Good, good. I remember I taught you that. I remember that.
Yeah.
That was quite some time ago now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
But
good.
very important. Very important.
Yes, very important. A lot of people actually tell me this is one of those things that most people don't know unless they're taking lessons.
Right.
Yeah,
That's 100% right.
and it's a big deal. Like it's not something you can just get away with because it will change how you play quite a bit.
100%.
Yeah. Good, but your thumb and your index look great. Let's look at the second measure here. So what's this first note? It's on the second string, which we didn't fully cover.
So that would be uh, C, right?
Yeah, C. Good. And C's on the first fret of the second string. Right there. Yeah. So, and then we have one more note here, which is after C, which would be D, third fret of the second string. And that's it. That's all the notes in this song. And you'll notice it's pretty much the same as the last one, where the second and fourth notes are accompanying notes and they're always the same. See that? So you want the second string to ring out a little more.
And this
And
and this is the third string is the open string.
that's right. G. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And that's what you call the accompanying, or did you say accompaniment?
Yeah, they're both correct. Correct. Accompaniment or accompanying notes. Yeah.
Accompanying note,
Yeah.
accompaniment. Well, is it what's accompaniment? What's the difference?
Uh,
Accompaniment.
it's just like that word means like the I wouldn't say background, but like the supporting music accompaniment. And then when you say accompanying, that's like what it is. Like it's just a
Okay.
difference of word usage. Like, but it's the same meaning.
And it said accompaniment.
Yeah. When you say that word, it's like this piece, this area is the supporting music. So
Okay.
you could say like I play piano. I'm playing the accompaniment. Then
Oh, okay.
you're playing the accompaniment. If this G was an instrument, that would be the accompaniment. You know.
Yeah.
And then the B would be the solo or the melodic figure, the singer, right? Yeah, so in this case you want to press a little more with your index and a little less with the thumb, which is a difficult thing to do because the thumb is a heavy finger. Yeah, so you would get this if you put it all together. Yeah, how was that?
That was a lot better. I could hear that clearly.
Okay, good, good. Yeah, so you get the idea. This is how these songs go. Yeah, and I can tell you're already playing it very well.
Yeah, I gotta practice.
Yeah, but you could get this in 5-10 minutes, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's see one more. This one is also fun, and this one uses all of these ones, by the way, are working on your right hand arpeggio patterns.
Oh, okay.
And this is the first real arpeggio pattern. The other ones were also arpeggio patterns, but this one's one that is used more often, I would say. Well, they're all used often, but this one's an actual exercise. So we have MIPI, and that's on the treble strings. In middle on the first string, index on second, thumb on third. So you have this kind of like cyclical pattern in the right hand. And then you
That's
have
cool.
just yeah, it is pretty cool. And you have just one note that's changing, the first string. So you have E, F sharp, G, F sharp, and that's it.
Oh, okay.
All right?
That sounds like the intro to a rock song.
It does. Yeah, there's a lot of overlap with classical music and rock, surprisingly. So this one's really good to do, especially because of the right hand pattern, and it also sounds like music. You know, it sounds pretty
Yeah.
cool. So in this case, the melody's on the first string. There, see that?
Oh, okay. And then
Yeah,
I see at the end here is that
these ones.
uh I play those three strings at the same time.
Yep, that's right. Just all together. Yeah, you just pluck all the strings without the left hand, just open.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's the last final chord there. Yeah. Do you have any questions on those three songs that we looked at?
For fishing by the pond, before that, it
Mm-hmm.
so it repeats
Oops.
twice. Those two dots on the right, that's a repeating
This.
sign, right?
You mean this on Ludwig?
Yeah, Ludwig, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. This means repeat. So you would just play up till here, the fourth measure, then you'd
Yeah.
play it all over again, and then go to the end.
Okay.
Yeah. These ones didn't have a repeat sign. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, good question. Yeah, that's a repeat sign. They don't have one on the beginning because it's the beginning. If there was like first four measures and then this was a fifth measure, and you wanted it to repeat from the fifth measure, there'd be another repeat sign here,
Yeah.
facing the other way.
Okay. And it says here under Ludwig expressive. Does that mean to play it loud?
These words are for interpretation. Calm and
Okay.
relax, frosty. You can think about them how you want to interpret them artistically. You know, so
Oh,
expressive. Try to play it with emotion.
okay.
Yeah, I mean it's a difficult thing to say what expressive means. You know, to how to play it when someone says be more expressive.
Okay.
So
More creative, more emotional. Okay.
yeah, that's how I would say. But it's unique to every individual.
Yeah. And I never thought about that, but that's very important when
Oh
playing
yeah.
music, you know?
Oh
It
yeah.
changes the sound almost sometimes. It changes the way it sounds too.
Yeah, I think that's probably the most important thing when you play music is to connect with people, right?
Yeah.
Um, and if you're not expressing yourself, it's difficult for people to connect, you know?
Yeah. Sometimes it sounds robotic if you just play,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Yeah, and in the age of AI and the growth of technology these days, people are searching for that human connection,
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
Yeah, so like you need to like if you're gonna learn to play an instrument, you should try to do your best to play it like a human. Because then what's
Yeah.
the point? Yeah.
I promise I'm not a robot.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe you. I've met you.
You've met me.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. I had another question. Um,
Hmm.
how do you know? I guess it goes. It might. I don't know if I'm right, but it might go back to the creative thing. But when reading music like this, I know it's super simple, but it, what would the tempo be? Would it be also
Mm.
something that you make up, or how
Yeah,
you?
that's a really good question. There's different cases. So in this case, they don't have any tempo markings or suggestions. In other pieces of music, they will have ideas for that. This just says expressive, so that can mean a lot of things,
Yeah.
and it's up to you to decide. This one, for instance, says calm and relaxed. So with that in mind, I would take it at a slower tempo, something that's calm and
Okay.
relaxed, right? And then this one says frosty, which is also up for interpretation.
Right.
Um, but there's going to be some that tell you specifically what tempo. I can't think of anything right now, but they'll literally tell you like quarter note equals whatever, you know?
Hmm.
Let me see if I can find something. Tempo marking in music. So like this, right at the start of the piece,
Yeah.
it says quarter note equals 120. So that's how fast they'll tell you. Right here it tells you dotted half note equals 60. So that
Oh.
means every 3 beats is about a second. Dot, 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 something like that. So you
Okay.
kind of get an idea. And they also have text like this in Italian that translate to various words, you know? So it can vary. This is usually more like what people go by.
Okay. So
Yeah.
it's not really a specific exact number on the tempo.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like a range or an idea.
Okay.
And yeah, and people debate about these things because a lot of this music was written hundreds of years ago.
Yeah.
So, maybe what they thought of allegro, which means happy, maybe they thought it was faster than what we think today, or maybe they thought it was slower than what we think today.
Right.
Yeah, and then there's like this one just says allegro right here. So you never know. Like I wouldn't go slower than 80.
Okay.
This one says adagio. This is really slow for adagio. So there's different interpretations, but you get the idea of using these words kind of like a range of how fast to play. And sometimes it's just very specific, which I like, because
Yeah.
then you can't get it wrong. But I also like the freedom that as an artist when you get things like this expressive, so you can take it whatever tempo you want, as long as it's expressive. Yeah.
Yeah, I never thought about it that way. That's cool.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna have to call it there
It's fine.
because we,
Yeah.
we ran out of time.